Okay, let's get started. This is Elliott Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use these videos for your education and entertainment purposes only. Everyone wants to start at Bitcoin. Guys, I'm showing you what I think is going to probably happen with Bitcoin. I think it's going to flat. It just seems to me that, um, you know, again, I'm looking for another push lower. Um, there's a lot of reasons why. You've got on the 4 hour a lot of divergence. Typically, if this is a real wave three, we'd already be up here starting to race divergence. So still got a lot more room to run. So you just got to watch that. Flat. This could be like a flat here. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. And again, even the 45-minute hasn't taken this peak out. So I think Bitcoin's tricky. It's tricky because I could see two scenarios, right? I could see this scenario that I have here, but I could also just see, let's complete the sequence really quick, right? Let's just get this sync back up with the rest of the market really quick, poke above the high, and then the rest of the market can fall, everything can kind of sell off together. That's so it's tough. If you're thinking it's just going to do that, I doubt it. I do. I think that's a low probability, and I mean it could always do that. It could always do that, but I think it's a low. Looking at the rest of the overall market, doesn't seem like that would be just kind of dreaming. That's a permeable thought process. I still think the most likely path is what I've got shown here. Okay, but Bitcoin is tricky. It's tricky right here. If it's going to do a flat, it will be rejected right around 70, right around this area, this shaded area. This is the typical area where a flat would be rejected. So that's where you want to, you'll see the reversal, typically. This is homework. So, and then if we do get a flat, we're looking at 61, 60,000, somewhere down in this area. And it could always go lower, of course, in a flat. So I think that's what I'm thinking, guys. Because a couple things. I know technology. Yeah, it's gonna bounce, but you still got this leg coming. What if it is already happened, right? It's already happened, and we get this next week. So you got this sell-off coming here. The SPY also has a sell-off coming, right? This is going to probably do some kind of 5 waves down or a bounce and a failure. So you got SPY is probably coming down to 520. Okay, so there's selling across the market that needs to happen still. The Dow Jones may also take another swing down. Again, we were in the sell area. Now, if we could take this high out, I think then the Dow is looking good for an impulse, right? So that would negate this corrective move. But for now, it hasn't. It got rejected, but it is trying to be saved. We'll see what happens. But I look across the market. I think from Bitcoin's standpoint, either we're going to get the sell-off here with the rest of the market, or it will make a new high. It will make a new high, and then it will all sell off together. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But it's obviously very good it broke the high, because as I always said, if it breaks the high, you get the flat, which always means you're going to go higher. So this is a good structure. This is a good structure here now for bulls. But that's what I'm thinking. But you'll have to do what's best for you. And good luck on your Bitcoin trades. Let's go to your question. Always go to the super chats first, guys. Your thoughts on Conn, CONN. Let's take a look here. Okay, so right away, anytime it breaks these lows, it's essentially in secular decline. Like if you're dreaming of new high, if you have any chart, you show me, and it breaks lows like this, like it just did, it's almost never going back up here, guys. So that's the first thing you need to understand. I call that a go to zero. So this chart will just continue lower. Now, will there be bounces? Yes. So the question is, are you going to catch one of these bounces? Are you going to be lucky? Or can you just short it here? Let's see here. We have A, B, C for your first wave. Well, here's 5 up. So actually, that's your connector right there. So we would do something like this, and then you have 3 down. So that, and then you have something like this, and now you're coming down. So now you need 3 down in Y. You'll get a bounce, and it'll fail. So looking at this here, you're in that third wave. Now 3 connector, 5, there's your first wave down, and now you're down. So this C leg has to finish, and it looks like it's got more downside coming. More downside coming. So it looks like it's got more downside coming, and then when it finishes, this should bounce, have a pretty good bounce, but that bounce will fail again. Okay, so that's kind of how I see, look at this. And where could a target be potentially? See, it's negative. So you can't really find the target in a structure like this. It's essentially a go to zero chart, but when this impulse ends, it will have a pretty healthy bounce. Okay. And thanks for the super chat. Crypto, Bitcoin. Yeah, I just gave Bitcoin earlier, but let me go back and just kind of recap. Again, I'm giving you my take based on my experience as a trader, where the market is, just my overall thoughts. This is what I think is going to happen. Now, it may not. It could very well technically be done here. It could very well be done here, but I just don't think it is based on the overall market, what the dollar index needs to do still. I believe, and this just seems too quick. Like this is just too quick. Like we need. I just think this almost was too easy, and the market would love to just trap a lot of late buyers, FOMO buyers, and then rug pull them one more time. And he actually I wouldn't be surprised if it comes all the way back down here and tries to retest this area one last time as support before we can really get going. Now and again, this obviously can keep continuing higher, and if it does, it could reverse around at 78,000. Wave 5 can end at 78,000, or in any level above. So I do believe that's the count we're in right now. And then we get a pullback somewhere down here. The market corrects, right? The market corrects. Big risk off across all all asset classes here, and then the low. And again, this low can keep going because now you're correcting the whole move. So this low can come, anywhere in this area, really. So, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I I feel that this is probably where it's something like this. Okay, but it's tough to say for sure. I'm just giving you like what my experience says, and then you'll have to make a decision. Because here's a dollar index. Okay, we have to correct this whole move down, right? Look, when we had this move down, look how long it took. Look how high it went to correct this. This whole move, it wouldn't be surprising to see this, continue a little bit higher up here. And this should put pressure on the market, Bitcoin, all that. Should. So, with that being said, that's one of the reasons. Now, if you believe it's finished here, then yeah, Bitcoin should go higher. Should go higher. You look at this, looks like 5 up. Looks like an A, B, C. Again, I'm just showing you why I'm thinking what I am, and then you'll have to decide. But I think it's something like this, and when you get this dollar index pump here, then, and again, you still have risk off coming here, here as you bounce and fail. Let me go ahead and show that real quick again. Okay, you've got this coming. Now, this could be the fifth wave in Bitcoin, right? And then this is the wipeout wave for the market, Bitcoin, everything. And then this, we anticipate 520, 515. But I said the oh shit target is actually 490, 482. What if it's this? What if it's that? See? So I'm just saying, guys, that's what I'm thinking. So that's why I think Bitcoin, I'll just be careful with the flat here, but it's like 50-50, but if I had to place my bet, I'm thinking it's going to do something like this. Okay, guys. Bama, appreciate the big super chats like always. I really appreciate everything here. Thanks again. Let's try again. VXUS. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at that. And I think I need to go back and do one I messed up on yesterday for somebody on band. I'll have to do that. And I thought they wanted the crypto, and I was happy that it wasn't the crypto, because I was like, I can't believe someone's trading Bandcoin. All right, Vanguard Total Index International Stock Fund. All right, well, again, now that we have the right symbol here, let's take a look. Real messy, right? Basically, you haven't made any money in this for decades. I mean, that's what this says, right? It's dead money. Why? Because look at the stocks that are in this are heavy. I think China. I think BABA. I think a lot of these international stock ETFs, if you look up what they are, it's like 25% BABA. It's like 20% BABA. It's like all this BABA. So that is really messing with because China hasn't been performing, guys. So you got to be careful in these international funds. And we know China is got dangerous times ahead of it. Okay. Look at that. That's possible. Now, short term, I'm looking for something like this. Okay, something like that. Now, if this doesn't happen and we just collapse, and it's possible because we already have 3 up, there's no guarantee, right? We can make this. Like we all learned our lesson from AMD, right? It could just keep going down. Now, if it breaks this low, it breaks this pattern, it's eventually coming down here. This got to be a stock market crash. By the way, guys, this has to be a stock market crash, right, if this happens. Now, if that happens, this growth international, index is toast. and you don't want to be in it. You don't want to be in it for sure. Now, short term though, if that bounce happens, it's going to see some gains. It's going to see some gains. It should see some gains, especially if the dollar weakness plays out like we're thinking still. Okay, so that's one thing to think about. The reason I'm bringing that up is because this is going to be hard to find where the pattern is, because ultimately, this is probably some kind of three-way move. It's moving in three waves, so there's really no good way of charting this pattern. I mean, you have three, looks like five up here, so you've got some kind of C, B, and then A, so like an A, B, C, right? Okay, cool. So if that's the case, then if it's bullish, that would be the one, right? And then we still need the two. Because this broke this low, this would just be three down, big three up, and then you need three down. And this would imply a drop. But I don't like to, I'm not going to label it this way. The way I'm going to look at this is a little different. I'm going to label it as, let's see here. Something like that. So we're in X. We're in this X. We need three swings. It's almost like this is giving me a clue that maybe the Hang Seng isn't going to spike. Because if I look at this, looking at it, even from the bullish and corrective standpoint, maybe we can get up to this area here. We get a little bit more upside here to 65.42 is possible. And then you finish your sequence lower. Down. And then you get this later. I think I'm going to go with this. Okay, I'm going to go with this. You'll have to decide. This is very hard to analyze. I think the best way to analyze this is to watch how China moves and how the dollar index is moving. And maybe you get this kind of pump in B, but then you're going to get this, right? This. And honestly, I could put this here right now. I mean, I can, right? I can. So this is tough. This is a tough pattern, but based on my experience, and this is, essentially the market crash, right? Where we've been saying is coming. It ends, right? At some point, it ends, and then a new dawn is born in world markets for the next, a new cycle is born, right? A new cycle comes into existence, and then we finally get out of this mess in the future. But I think there's a lot of pain coming. But short term, I could see more upside. So this could be, again, picking up pennies in front of the steamroller, or you just, go a little more defensive and wait this out. So I don't know. You'll have to, personal decision. You'll have to do what's best for you. Thanks for the big super chat. Your thoughts on, you have a second part update on, but also an update on rates. So for me, interest rates are still behaving like I expected. Although it's we're seeing the turn. Hopefully, we're seeing the turn now. Again, if the 10-year, let's get rid of some of these we don't need anymore. Again, look, we've been pretty good with this. Now the short, now the short, now the short, and here we are. You know, this thing wants to open up the floodgates. It wants to have it wants to go from 4.1 to 3.7 in one can. I mean, it wants a big drop. So again, is this risk off? Market panic that drops us here? Is it the Fed panics and drops us here? I can't tell you. Now, this pattern is a flat overall, right? And at some point we find support in this area, and then we're going to go higher in the future, much higher. 7.5%, 8% on the 10-year is probably going to happen. Now, if this flat doesn't happen, guys, if this flat doesn't happen, it will be negated. It will be negated when this peak is taken out here at 475. So even if this 2 comes up, it's still, the pattern's valid. Still, we have to just adjust this counts. But for right now, I'm just leaving it the way it is. The forecast has not changed. So it's still the same forecast I've been given. Look, guys, we caught the 2-year. Again, had the short here, you know, puked it down. Now look, we have 5 down. So this is due for like a bounce, right? A bounce coming. And then you got 5 on the short end. And then the short end is going to have another move higher, right? It's gonna do something like this, and then it's going to puke. So the short end, sad, is going to do the same thing. Maybe we come down to 3.4, 3.2, 3, you know, maybe even 3.5, somewhere in here. And then here, 8.5, 9. I'm just saying, guys, this is what the chart says. Now, I know people look at this and they go, they can't believe it. It's almost like sacrilegious. It's like, no way this can happen. You're crazy, but I'm just saying that's what the chart says. I don't know what this means. Maybe there's a government debt crisis. Maybe there's an inflation crisis. Maybe the dollar collapses. Maybe people just sell bonds because they want to FOMO into stocks. I don't freaking know. I just showing you what the chart is telling you. We need one more swing up because we have 5 up and we broke the high. We broke this high, right? So it's 5 up with a broken high. So we have a sequence here that's got to finish. So it's going to finish. So I'm just saying, guys, that's where rates are going. Now, if you have cash in the bank account, that may be pretty cool, right? Oh, I'm going to make 10% in my money market fund. Yeah, one day you will, but I don't know what inflation is going to be like at that point or why, but that's what it's saying. That's what it's saying here. It says, hey, have some cash because you'll be making some good money on the short-term end soon in the future. Not right now. Right now, you guys are going to get squeezed on that here as this plays out, okay? Just something I want to show you guys, but that's my rate forecast. No change. AI on technical trading. Okay, so AI is a big component of the tech trade. The tech trade is a big component in the index, right? Index is a big component in passive investor sentiment. So, it has a big psychological impact. It has a big mechanical impact. So, because they pumped it so high. I don't think things can rotate out of the AI into other sectors to make it up and save the indices. I think there will be a rotation. We're seeing some of that, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save it. But that's my thoughts on it. All right, let me go. I got to go back to Super Chat I missed. So I'm going to go back and do that real quick. Band for, they wanted bandwidth. Bandwidth looks to me, again, I always say you break that low, it puts you into like a secular go to zero, like it's bad news for the company. Now, whether there'll be bounces, absolutely. There's always bounces. So we have to look for an impulse down of some kind. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. And then you have another 1, 2. And then you have your 3, your 4, and your 5. And it looks like your impulse ended here. And and now you're building off the low. It looks like you got one more swing higher. So it looks like you got an A, some kind of B and C. Now you could still B and B, get a drop, but more than likely you have at least one more swing higher, and then I would expect more downside. And in fact, this C would be a short opportunity for this if it and I'll give the target here at 30.75, $32. Could be a good short opportunity right there if B is in. Okay, just wanted to get that done. All right, Eric, next is POFCY. All right, another one I haven't really heard of. Petro, some kind of probably, I would assume, oil stock. That's interesting. Big pump there, and it got rejected. So it actually didn't reset the cycle here on the monthly. You see, and it got rejected right on the trend line, on the RSI trend line. So it's still in the same swing lower. So I would just, again, I think the way to do this is just kind of got to label the impulse down and do your best to time it. And that's probably the only real way to try to chart this. And looks like you have an extension here of some kind. Right, something like this. Okay, so you actually may get another one of these, right, when you get this 4. So I would be, it's obvious this 4 was over before it even started. It got, it just had that technical reaction, and now it's in 5. So I would expect a little more downside now. And then you're going to get another one, something maybe similar, but you'll get another like pump, but that will fail too. All right, so that's how I'd look at this. Thanks for the super chat. Anonymous, appreciate it. Let's take a look at your crypto stocks that you have. Let's see here, how's that going? All right, so we're looking for 5. Now see, we didn't break this high. It looks like it's we broke this low. So it changes the nature of this correction completely. So what we have is only 3, okay? So we want it 5. 5 confirms the low, but 5 is never guaranteed. So once you get 3, 5 is never guaranteed, okay? And so now that we don't have that, now the bull case is kind of invalidated on this. So if I was personally, again, you have to make your own decision, but if I was personally in it and I saw this and this pivot break, I would stop out and take whatever money I made and go find something else to trade, because now it's probably gonna, it's more than likely gonna break this low now, and 2 will continue lower, and it may even break this low. And it just wasn't able to do it. It just failed. It just didn't work out. So so that's how I'd look at this. So this pattern could be an A, B, C, and then we go back down, and it's just going to be choppy. But I would pretty much look for the bear case to continue now that you're below this level. And honestly, it's probably something like this now. And then you'll get a bounce, right? And then it'll probably just continue lower. I'll probably just keep doing something like that. Okay. Then the next one is HUT. Okay, HUT, we also did not get the 5th wave. We did not break this low, so we could still be in 4. So HUT has not negated the bullish count. Okay, so it's still, but it has to hold this low here at 14, 1450, 1455. You have 3 down. So this is, again, the bullish case. Now, if there's no guarantee the 5 is going to happen. Again, if I was trading this, all I see is potentially 3, and here's your 3, like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, and then 2. Hold on one second. 1, 2, 3, and then A. Yeah, A, B, C. Yeah, you know, even if it's bearish, I would expect one more high. So this is the 5 that would negate it. So I think even if 4 goes below these levels, I wouldn't get too worried. I still think you'll get 5. Looking at the structure, it's when you're in this wave 4, there's no guarantee this 5's going to happen. There's no guarantee this 5. I think there's good likelihood this 5 will happen to complete the 3 swing structure. But then once the 3 swing structure is made, then there's no guarantee. But I'm just showing you a possibility. So this actually could still go lower, and you'll have to decide if you want to stop out or not. I wouldn't. I would probably wait to the wait and see if it can get to 14 here. But I think if it got down to this area here below 13, I'd probably dump it, because then it's something completely different and it's probably more bearish. But that's, again, this is kind of the chart. Let's take a look at the shorter time frame. 3, 3, 3. It looks like it could be finished here. So yeah, I do think you'll get this 5, looking at everything. Okay, BCHG looks, I think will be interesting. We show 5 up, and we pulled back. 2 could be done here between the 4 and the 2, and we could be going up next week. Obviously, if crypto goes higher this weekend, this should follow suit, right? If crypto decides to do the rug pull like I showed, this is going to probably swing down and retest these lows. And yeah, it would retest the low. And if it doesn't hold the low, then what it turned into was a corrective move. And in the way I would have to label it is an A, B, C. And it will be pretty much a wipeout down to $5 or lower. So I wouldn't want to trade this anymore. LTCN, same thing. 5. We have the 5 up here, right? We need to. Usually it comes between the 4 and the 2. So you know, you could see it drop to 1785, but it looks like it's finding support here. But this is a flat drop. So you know, again, it has to hold this low at 1678. If it doesn't hold that low, I would dump it, because it's going to probably come all the way back down to these areas here at $6. Again, just showing you guys. And you're like, why would it do it? Litecoin could be going up. Remember, this $18 is way over net asset value. Its NAV far exceeds the price of the coin. LTCN at $18 is like buying Litecoin at, like, I think it's like buying it at something like $1,000 or something. Like, you got to check that out. So there's a lot of premium in there. Like BCHG, buying it at 987 is like buying Bitcoin Cash at $900, $90. You're like, well, Bitcoin Cash is trading at 300 something. Well, if this was traded at 1-to-1, then this should be down here. You see, so there's a lot of premium in these that could bleed out and still be consistent with the value of the coin. That's why you got to understand what you're buying here. This 987 isn't like I get 1 Bitcoin Cash for every one of these I buy. I'm getting like 0.01 Bitcoin Cash. And it's just the market's marked it up. The market marked it up because people want it so much. They're willing to pay like a 300% premium on it. But maybe the market's getting to its senses and saying, yeah, I don't want to pay that kind of premium. Like I look at G-Link, I'm not paying a premium at $68 a Litecoin, $70 a Litecoin. I mean a Link coin when Link is trading at 13. I'd rather buy it down here. So at some point, the market refuses to buy it. Now look at G-Link, right? I've got to buy here at 558. That would be like buying Link coin at $6, $7. Now that would be a good opportunity, and I got my eye on that, right? And we broke down. So I'm just saying, a lot of these grayscale products have a lot of premium in them right now. And you have to decide. Now, I like trading this because of the chart. The chart had a great bounce. You also have 5 waves on your side. It seems likely to get one more swing, but I can be wrong, and that's what I'm saying. And if we break this, and we can also do something like an A, B, C, and then come down. So I'm just pointing out the obvious, but I just want to show you possible paths. Okay. Next year's massive clash be avoided. Yeah, there's a possibility, and I call that the moon boy scenario. Okay, we all like have people all over make fun of the perma bears. Well, there's perma bulls, guys. There's perma bulls and perma bears, right? There's two sides. The perma bull has been in a bull market since 2009, and they've been calling everyone that calls a crash. They laugh in their face. They're so complacent. They think the market goes up forever. They're like, it'll never go down. Every dip will buy. Even on, a 2-year correction, it's a dip to buy. They're that kind of complacent. I call them the perma bull. Well, at some point, the perma bull will get blown up, guys. The perma bull will get blown up. Now, if the perma bull is right about Moon Boy, I'll go to my long-term charts so you guys can see it clearly. But there is a scenario. There is a scenario that I think could work out for the perma bull. And you don't get what I have here, okay? This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is the typical count. We've either finished 3 or about to finish this 3, and we'll get a 4 and get this 5, and then bam, and of course this could look a lot of different ways. It could have A, B could go out for years or decades even, and C, it could be a straight down crash, like bears dream of. Who knows? But this could be a different count. Okay, I got to bring it out there. And yeah, can the crash be avoided? Absolutely. If this is the count. If this is the count, guys, the crash will be avoided. Okay, and I'm stating the obvious, right? Because we all know Elliott waves a little bit. Right? We get something like that. And then it's moon. It's Moon Boy. You see that? And then when we're in this, everyone thinks it's this, and then at some point, it's the biggest bear trap in memory, and then you get that. So how this, I think we don't know if it's going to be this until we're in it, and can watch the stochastics, watch the RSI reset, watch the dollar index. There'll be clues. Watch the big cap tech. Are they, if we're trading down here, is Apple bottomed? Is Amazon bottomed, or do they show more downside? Right? We'll hopefully know. If we look across the market here, and we got Nvidia, trading at the lows, and AMD below 100, and we got all these, then I doubt it's going to do this. Right, I think then the perma bull comes in. Now, if we're down here and these stocks are still trading pretty high, then I would be worried. I'd be worried, And then again, what's the news driver driving this? What is it? Is it collapse of the banking system? Is it China invaded Taiwan? Or is it a technical correction? No news. Presidential election will be over. When it's over, I doubt. There's going to be this will probably continue. So I think So I think that's the perm, but the perma bull loves this chart, loves that count, and like I said, there's a lot. There's perma bull, perma bear. So I'm just showing you the most likely path from an Elliott wave standpoint, and you have massive bearish divergence here. That hasn't. You haven't even be like you couldn't even like it's just playing out. I mean, it's playing out as a big five. So the perma bull case every day is becoming less and less likely. Okay, a lot of firepower was been wasted, and we're not where we need to be. So I would be worried about perma bull boom boy. But can you roll it out? You can't. So there is still hope. But do you want to be complacent? Do you want to just because you don't know the nature of this wave, right? You don't know it. What if it starts out with a 1987 style move and we're down 20% in one day to start out wave A? Welcome to the ground super site. You lost, boom, a haircut. You probably lost 35% if you're in individual stocks overnight. And that's it. If you can take that, then cool, be complacent and whatever. I mean, I'm just saying it may be time to get a little defensive because we're coming into a top. We're topping here. It's top. But I can't guarantee the crash, and I can't guarantee, Moonboy. So we just have to play it as we go. All right, that's it. That's all I want to say on that. Let's keep going to your questions, guys. Florian, appreciate the super chat. Under Armour, yeah, I hadn't looked at that. I thought it looked like it was starting to bottom out, but I was avoiding it because of what happened with Nike and Lululemon, and the sector didn't look good. So I was just kind of cautious on that. Here, let's see what we got going on in Under Armour. So Under Armour. Yeah, it's had a tough go of it, right? Big pump here. Some 5-wave move, obviously, up, and now it's correcting, right? It's in a big ground super cycle correction of some kind. Here looks like 3 down. Yeah, 3 down, a connector wave, and another swing lower. Okay, so something like this and down, and now you need 3 swings down here. You have 1, 2, so you have your first. So that's good. So it's getting there, and now you need C. C could be a triangle, so it could be like a 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't have to crash anymore, but it should grind lower a little bit more than that. I'll circle the area somewhere there, and I would be looking for a move down of some kind. Something like this. It could be that. You get another pump. It could be a lot of things, so I'm not going to label this part of it. But I think you get the idea. I would say it's going to go lower. Let's see if we could get another target, some other targets, and see if we get convergence. So there's another target, 244, right in this area. Let's look for another target. But again, you're just looking for a confluence here of levels, 209. So you have this magnet. It looks like it's going to have a magnet down to this low $2 area. And then let's see if there's horizontal support. You have right about $3 here. So there's also horizontal. This would be strong support right around here. So my guess is it's coming down into this area, and this makes sense given where the sector is going and where things are heading. So good luck on UAA. Amcore Tech. Yeah, Amcore is in a larger degree correction with the super cycle. I'm sorry, not the super, but with the semiconductor sector. I would expect it to find support. So the target is at 36.45, 35.25. So I'm looking at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an A, B, C. Now, there's a chance we bounce early. If we bounce early, then we have to come up with a new target and 2 will go lower. So you really want to get that capitulation to 36.45, and then that's a good opportunity to try to take a stab at it if you want to grab it. I do like the long-term chart. I still like the long-term chart on this. Okay, but it's just correcting instead of a 1 2 1 2, which was super bullish, right? It's just correcting a bigger degree. So I'll be looking for something like this. Now, if it does bounce early, then more than likely the bounce will come and fail again. Okay, just saying, something like that. Then S92 SMA Solar Xterra. I'll see if I can find it. Solar on the Xterra, etc. All right. All right. So pretty much been dead money for a long time, but it has some pumps. We did break this high. See that bullish divergence? That was the clue that this would fail. But look, it's still pumped pretty big. So more than likely that low is going to break. And it's got to be in some kind of flat pattern. So we want to look for an impulse lower. Looks like to me yeah, we'll have to relabel it something a little different. We'll just I won't worry about like subdividing and labeling, but I think it's pretty clear that's your 1 2. And then here a 1 2, and then you get, now you're in 3, but you could actually still be in this degree. So like I said, there's more downside coming. It's going to break the low back here. And then when this finishes up, if the company still exists, then it could start a new bull cycle if it's still around. Just so you know, one rule I always say is when you're correcting the grand super cycle, there's no guarantee the company will ever retake the highs. There's no guarantee you'll ever get wave 3, and there's always no guarantee the company will even survive and there'll ever be a bottom, because a lot of companies go bankrupt in the grand super cycle correction. A classic example was Chesapeake Energy. If you traded that, it was in a grand super cycle decline. People were buying it when it was penny stocks with dreams of it being, hundreds of dollars again. And then it finally went bankrupt and everyone lost everything that owned the stock. And then they reissued their stock and then they pumped and mooned in the last couple years. And that shit can happen. So that's what I'm saying. You can't expect like the grand super cycle, like this could be like their way to bankruptcy to zero. But if they can come out of it, the opportunity could be tremendous. So that's a risk when you take buying grand super cycle corrections. And Apple. Yeah, Apple is correcting with the rest of the market. It's essentially like trading the SPY. So Apple, for this bullish chart to remain in place, we really need Apple to find support here at 204. Okay, now it's correcting this whole move. So it could very easily do something like this. But what I'm afraid of is if that happens, this is an overthrow that fails, and it could create a situation for a different degree chart. And again, I know this is unthinkable, right? Apple cannot do this. There's no way. But the chart is the chart, and it can do that. And remember, when we put 1 here, this was the end of the grand super cycle for Apple, right? And when we put 2 here, we're like, man, this has got to be the smallest grand super cycle correction I've ever seen, right? It corrected the entire move from its IPO right here. I'm like, man, I would at least wanted it to come back down to the wave 4, right? I mean, it didn't even do that. So it may have gotten ahead of itself. It may have gotten ahead of itself. And if it has, flats that get ahead of itself love to do something like this. And then we could come back to where we should have gone all along, which is a perfect target. That's the target. Boom. Then the grand super cycle's complete. So I would say that I would not even worry about that uber bearish possibility until we get back into this area. Then I would start to like, you may be starting to bite your nails a little bit if you're long Apple. But hopefully there'll be a major news event that we'll know. Like they'll either miss earnings so bad that it'll be so obvious it got ahead of itself, or something else, or China, invades Taiwan and we sanction China, and then Apple's kicked out of China and they can't make their shit anymore. Like, I don't know, I'm just hyped. Those are like, now that would drive a grand super cycle crash, right? But right now, this is the bullish chart. So I'm like, let's go with the bullish count, okay, until proven otherwise. But I do think it's something to keep an eye on. Let's look at the monthly stochastic on Apple. See, the monthly hasn't it's like the market hasn't tipped its hand. It's like, nope, we're not telling you. We're not going to let you know. And then also on the bullish side, it hasn't really broken out. It wants to. It wants to break out right now, see? So the market is saying, is it a flat or are we going to moon? It hasn't made up its mind. Do we moon? Do we crash? Place your bets. Apple, the chart is not giving me any clues. I'm just telling you, if we wake up in 4 or 5 months and Apple's down here, I won't be surprised, because this was pretty quick. This was pretty quick for correcting the whole thing. It just was unusually bullish. But maybe Apple's that good. I don't know. I mean, it's just what it is. I'm just saying, guys, here's the chart. Do what you want to do with it, and hope it works out. All right, Thomas, aluminum. Let's take a look at aluminum here. How's it going on aluminum? Aluminum here. Aluminum is in the buy box. Okay, so aluminum hit the buy area. So it's like silver. Silver's in the buy area. So we talked about it. It's got to hold this low. It's hard to see it, but right there at 2,000. So basically say 2,000. It's got to hold 2,000. If it can't hold 2,000, not just aluminum's screwed, I think the market's screwed, because then that's signaling major deflationary forces at work. But there you go. So you got, if you believe in aluminum, you want to buy it right now, and you get this move out, a big move out, inflationary move. So it's a small risk, high reward setup, but I would definitely, like, if it broke that low, I wouldn't bother with it anymore. But I always say there's always a possibility, with the flat correction, that you break the low and it does something like this, like that, and then you crash. So there's always that, where you break it, you stop everyone out, you destroy the bulls, and you destroy the bulls up here, you destroy the bears. So boom, boom, and then you crash. The market loves this kind of setup in a corrective structure. So you just watch for that too. So don't be like, oh my God, it broke the low, I'm just going to max short, because then you can get something like this. And then everyone's destroyed. But when that happens, I don't like to trade those charts because of that very reason. Because there's no more setup. It's like I won't trade it anymore. I'll go find something else to trade. And then NHY. What is that? NHY. Um, and I assume you want this, so I'll just click on that. All right, so looks like it held that low. That's good. It looks like a flat here. Looks like a, so it could be, this could be a couple things here. So what's good about it is you have a 1, 2, and then of course you have another 1, 2. Now this could be a 3, 4, right? It could be a 3, 4, but it could also be another 1, 2. Now this looks like a triangle wave 4, so I'm going to label this as a 3 and a 4, and then put 5. So I'm going to label it like that. And you really need this low at 51 to hold. Okay. And then you come out in 5. Typically wave 2s aren't triangles too, so it's usually a wave 4. So something like that. And then you get a big pullback all the way back down to 38, and then you come out. Okay, something like that. Thanks for the super chat. All right, Eddie, man. Hey, nice to see you. Oh, Core, you're the guy that wanted Core. That's right. Hey, yeah, I mean, it was up like 40-something% on earnings. You guys did it. We did it as a team. I'm sure other people took that trade because they saw the idea on my channel. It was one of the most cleanest bottom setups you'll ever get. It was almost a no-brainer setup. So good job on that. Appreciate the big super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to be up in my game on my channel in the fall. Moving out to Florida. I got some things planned, and once I get settled down in there toward the end of September, I'll be trying to beef up this channel more and more, and make it a little more, even more informative, more organized, more professional looking. 2 more picks coming up. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you just let me know what you got. Eddie, here you go. All right, Eddie B. Zune has $750 in cash. All right. So let's look at it. I don't, like I said, I don't really. The fundamental news doesn't necessarily, drive everything I do. But it is interesting to know the case. So again, you probably have come up in 5 waves here with a connector, and now you're finishing up. So your 3-wave move, it looks pretty extended. Now you did break this low, which is dangerous. But since you have 5 up, as long as it stays above, doesn't go out of business, there's always a chance for wave 3, like we've mentioned before. So let's look at some targets real quick and see if there's any obvious targets. So right now it is in a target area for accumulation in this area here. We can find another target as well here. That's even lower, and I actually almost looks like it hit that. So that's the extreme target, like 127. If it for some reason gets there, I would expect maybe a violent bounce higher if it could get there technically. Now, looking at this, we're going to have to look at the wave count. It's just like, we need 5 waves down, right? And we need to erase divergence on the higher time frames. So the monthly, we're showing bullish divergence here. So we are showing this is a 5th wave of some kind. Here you erase divergence. So, I look at this, it's a little different chart than the other ones. Is it due a bounce? Yes, because it's in a 5th wave. And it looks like it's going to bounce in a new monthly cycle. But I have a feeling that bounce is going to fail. And in fact, the monthly's already broken. So I believe it will bounce, but I believe that bounce more than likely will fail. And then when it does, you'll finally get your final low if it's still around. So but the bounce is in a monthly cycle, so the bounce could be I guess pretty significant, and it could be for a while. Let's look at the count here. Looks like yeah, actually we're moving in 3. So let's kind of do this again, and we're moving in 3 waves. something like this, and we're down. So the first 5-wave move ended here. Now you're in C. One, two. I think it's going to drop, and that may be your capitulation, the race your divergence. Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at this, and again, I see divergence at the bottom. I see divergence at the bottom. I see a missing swing. I see an ideal target around here. I mean, we're still in a good area, but I mean, it could go lower. I mean, don't be surprised if it gets a little bit of a rug pull, but you see how how big this 2 was? This 4 could also be just as big and then fail later. It could do that. Maybe the monthly cycle, you know, breaks a little bit higher and then it capitulates down. I mean, I'm just giving you different ideas, or maybe it was a false breakout on the monthly we looked at. So I think it's this one's a little bit harder to kind of decipher. But the 4 could easily extend because this could be a triangle in wave C as it ends. But what I don't like is the divergence at the, you know, and see we broke out. So maybe, yeah, maybe it's, I would be careful in this one. But I do think, if anything, 4 can go higher and then drop in 5, or we could just drop in 5, but it seems to be missing a swing to me. This is a lot harder than core. This one's a lot trickier than core. You'll have to make a decision on what you want to do, but obviously it's coming to the end of the move, right? It's coming. It's definitely, you know, it's seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and then here's another target area right here. So you have this like confluence of accumulation. Like this whole area, this whole region here is area to accumulate. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. It looks like I got another one. Eddie O, KT. Let's see, KT Corporation. All right, so down, connector down, and it looks like another triangle that it's ended in. Let's just kind of play this out a little bit. We have to go to like a quarterly. There's your capitulation. So that's probably your low right there. So we're going to say it's bullish off that low, a bullish count off that low. Did we break it? Well, let's see here. All right, let's take a look. So we never really broke that high, but you see we end it with no divergence. So be careful in this on the wave structure. I mean, we don't have I don't know, maybe there's missing data in TradingView and we did break this high here. Let's just assume that's the case for now because of the bottom. So the way to trade this is I would put the low there, and then I would just label it something like a 1, 2, 3, and just you just have to assume that TradingView missed this 5th, and then you have 3 down, or actually it's 5 down, and so we need maybe one more swing lower, and then this is a flat. So I would be looking for more downside in the short term. But right, we know this sector's correcting. You said it's AI. Well, AI's sector's correcting. So, you know, I'd be looking for something like this. you know, and then it can go lower. Now, if we take this high out, then the charts negate it, and then I would just it's just going to continue up. But I think this is just in some kind of corrective pattern. I think we're missing data, to be honest. But you know, you'll have to kind of decide. But the way I look at this is an ABC, a connector, 3 down, and now you need 5 down. This is what I'm thinking. All right, good luck with that. All right, and Shane Moses, Disney. Yeah, we did Disney on a live stream yesterday. Keeps going lower. I mentioned it's very dangerous going to earnings at a historic support. Again, let's look at the count. One more low. I mean, I could force it. I could force this and be done. So I said the way to trade Disney, if you want to trade it, is if you're going long here, your stop has to be the low here at 78. Now we do know, bigger picture on Disney, we have 5 down, we have a bounce, and then we failed. So we need to go up in 5. Well, we did with this 1. Now, this is too shallow to me, but AMD's was shallow too, and the market still collapsed. So if B is in here, then it's going to go into a free fall sell-off down to $30 and a historic top. The historic head and shoulders breakdown. So there's a lot of risk here, even though the stop is not too far away. It's one of these stocks that could report bad earnings, and it's down like 20% on open, and you're down here, and people lost all their money. So it's a very risky chart to trade. I was looking for one more swing higher at least, but AMD didn't give it to me, and maybe Disney won't either, and it's already done. The more we're going down, the more I would be concerned. The monthly cycle has not broken down yet, as you can see, so we don't have a clue yet. Now, if the monthly breaks this line, then B is in, and dark times for Disney lie ahead as you get real capitulation from the investor. Hope will turn to anger, to sadness and acceptance eventually. But look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Doesn't it seem like it just wants to break down? I mean, it just seems, but I'm not calling. So I think I'm not interested in trading it. If you're a long-term investor, you just got to understand the risk reward profile and then make a decision. But know that it is in a grand super cycle. We did break the low. We do know on the grand super cycle it is going to take another leg lower. There is going to be a big leg lower. I was hoping to bring it up some, but it may not be, and maybe here, and then that will just pretty much open you up to this long-term trend line. And I know and it's unthinkable, but the chart's the chart, guys. I mean it just, there may be too much investor hope and optimism still that needs to get extinguished with this but this is the count. For right now, we'll just go with this. Do what's best for you. Again, it's a flat. This is what I'm predicting. So good luck. Okay, let's keep going. Here, next super chat, S1D burn. Yeah, Paul, we said watch for that final low, and that was originally where we wanted it. Yeah, Paul, that's the Palladium, so that's different. I thought that was still holding up. All right, so it's still holding up. Now, we have this bottom process, just like aluminum, it's at the moment of truth. I think the commodities are either about to, have a massive breakdown, or they're about to have a huge move. I'll just say it that way. Now, this is a bullish setup. We finished here, and we have this pattern, and it's finding buyers where you expect it. So that's all fine and dandy, right? It's all good. Now, the thing is, if that pattern doesn't hold, then we have 5 down. 5 down, which would be really bearish. It would be not a good investable instrument anymore. So the alternate case, if this low breaks, and I would definitely, you have to keep it in mind, if 76, if that low breaks, it's going to turn into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will probably drop to 71. You'll get a big relief rally. Big relief rally. But that rally will fail again in the future because you have 5 down. Okay. So it's an important moment for Palladium investors, if that's going to happen or not. Let's look at the actual metal. So you see, Palladium never actually hit, the metal itself never really hit where I wanted it to, and it gives no clue. And it'll be the same thing. We'll have 5 down. Instead of 3, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means either this was a flat, you know, A, B, C, or it's a run up to 17, back test this, and reject, which is probably what it is. Okay, good luck on that. Yeah, it's not looking good. Aluminum's not looking good, and oil's not looking good. The commodities and silver's not looking good, isn't it? So we have a lot of deflationary signals setting up in the market right now, right? On the doorstep. We have silver is kind of weak, right? We got oil weak, aluminum's we see so the commodities look like they want to give up the ghost here. They want to puke lower, which is deflationary, which could be recessionary, right? SCO, let's take a look at that. Where do I got SCO at? Oh, that's the short oil trade. Yeah, I gave that setup on my channel. Where the hell do I have that? Oh, there it is. First one here. All right, I gave the setup on my channel, SEO. I gave the alert here. We got this pump, and then it decided to do the rug pull flat. And then we had the flat buy here, and now it's up. So yeah, short oil trade is playing out. It's going higher. So it obviously has a breakout in wave 3. So I think oil's in a lot of trouble. Again, what's that a bigger sign of in the economy? I'm not sure, but you'll have to come to your own conclusions. Now this looks like almost 5 up, right? So this looks like it's due a pullback soon, right? But that's what oil's about to do, right? Oil's about to do that, right? I think oil. It's about, look, wave 5. It's almost done. So when wave 5 is in, you're going to get a big pump in oil again. Probably back up to $80 even. So just so you know, and then now this, when we get this pump after having this wave down, yeah, I'll be in the short oil trade. Now it's a lot safer. It was kind of dangerous playing the short oil trade. And again, guys, if you watch my channel, we caught the short to the penny here. I said, hey, if you want to short oil, this is right. This would be the place to do it. And sure enough, that was the place to do it. But this may give people another great opportunity to short oil here when this plays out. All right, that's SCO, copper. Yeah, let's look at the metal, copper. Still needs to go lower to 384. So copper's got more downside coming. The metal, that only looks like 3 swings, so it could actually be a flat. It could be a flat. Well, actually, yeah, we need to go to the bigger. This is why you got to always zoom out. All right, let's look at copper, the metal itself. I don't have it charted here. We'll have to go to the quarterly. Okay. So I'd say something like, you know, like a 1, 2. Yeah, see that low broke that. Yeah, it looks like copper. You see, copper is about to break the monthly trend line. That's super bear. That's got to be really bearish for the world economy, man. That would bring copper down to 269. But we don't have confirmation, so you got to be careful in copper. You could be in a much bigger, higher degree correction. A higher, you know, so copper is dangerous, but it should have a bounce coming up soon. We should have a bounce here. So either 2 will get set here, this 2 will get set here, or it will bounce and fail. It's hard to say. If it can get to 2.9, that would be more likely as of a major low there. But I think it's got more downside. Okay. Now let's look at the stock, that SCCO. All right, so we charted this a long time ago on my channel, but we did get the pump eventually. We'll just have to say that's some kind of impulse tight wave 4 in there, or it won't make a lot of sense. Let's look at the RSI real quick. Yeah, you have a full cycle reset right here on this one. Yeah, strain. This is a very interesting chart here. This looks like definitely 5 up here. The low is here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to label it like this. There's nothing else makes a lot of sense to me. And then so I think it's got more upside coming. So you're like, wow, if it's more upside, how can the metal go down? And I don't know, sometimes they don't trade together. Who knows why, but I'm just showing you the chart. For now, something like that. Let me just see these overlapping waves. I can't call that a wave 3. I can't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe what will happen is, I bet this is what's going to happen. You're going to get this little bit of fifth wave, you know, or something, and then you get a big drop. You know, something from like 132 back down to like 69 or something like that. So I bet that's what it's going to be. And then wave 3 is just out in the future. Okay. That's what I think you're going to get, something like that. I would keep an eye though that wave 4. Let's look a little closer at it. Yeah, to me it looks like it needs another wave higher. Okay. All right, and Lab Up. Lab Up is pretty much like a play similar on the Russell typically, and the Russell has at least one more swing higher, I think. I don't think it's topped yet, so Lab Up to me is should have more upside. Yep, it looks like we did make that wave 5 here, so we should be pulling back in 4. And look, guys, it is wait, what am I doing here? Let's get rid of that. I don't know what's going on. I think my chart got messed up. Okay, there we go. So you have so we do have 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. Okay. So like I say with the indices, there's no guarantee it will go up anymore. Now, we need this high has to get broken to keep the bullish case alive. If not, it's corrective and could actually go back and break this low again. So you have a full 3 swing move up. So if it's corrective, if this is corrective, then it's over. It's just going to collapse. But if you can get, another push higher, then I think this marks this as a low, and it should give you more gains in the future. So it's a very interesting situation it is in. Now, we don't have guarantee for start it. We could still be in 5 though. So I'm just saying, but if it did end here, just something to keep in mind. Okay. Thomas, let's go to your question here. Weeco and XLV. Clean Energy Index. Let's take a look at that. Looks like we've charted that before. Okay, so looks like we're trying to trace out this 5. Now this is only 3 waves, and we're up in 3. So that's not a 5-wave impulse. This could still be wave 4, actually. Let's take a look a little closer. Yeah, maybe it is done here. Yeah. So I think it's finished there. The sequence is finished, and now you're correcting higher or bouncing. So looks okay so far. So hopefully you get lucky and this can continue out as long as these lows hold. So this is a major, this has to hold at $40 or $39, has to hold. If it can, it can pull out, and you'll either get a 3-wave bounce and more lows, or a major low has been set. So we don't know yet. Okay, but it looks like this cycle's over to me, and now we're pulling out of it. The XLV. Wave 5 will be over at any moment. It probably is already over, and we're going to get a big pullback coming, right? But we know that. That's happening across the whole market. This pullback can come all the way back down to 129, and it may even retest this low at 119. So you got a big pullback coming in the healthcare sector, really at any moment. And I'll bring this out. This was real shallow too. This was pretty shallow for the grand super cycle on the healthcare sector. But here you have 5 waves. I mean, you see it. So what it's telling me is healthcare is going to be really bullish in the future, guys. That is going to be a sector you want to keep in touch with. So keep an eye on that sector, right? And we know that, right? Because we have a lot of big healthcare companies at generational lows like Pfizer and stuff, right? You got the weight loss drugs, you got all these cures and shit coming out, gene therapies, and all sorts of shit that people are going to spend their money on to stay alive. You got the boomers all getting sick, they're getting older. I think that's what this chart is telling you. What sector, AI might be the sector now, but the sector of the 2030s may be healthcare, guys. But this is a pretty bullish chart. I mean, it's a pretty bullish chart for this sector. But yeah, I'm looking for a pretty big pullback at any moment. Any moment. Okay, Eddie, back to you again. Appreciate that. Oh, okay. If the stock tries on 2 or 4 markets, I try to track it on the market that it's a home market. So if it's like a Chinese company, I'll look at it on the China. for the most part. Now I do look at the ADRs. So it just depends on the situation and circumstance. If the data is confusing, always go back to the home market. But I mean, that's what I try to do. But I mean, a lot of the ADRs trade just like you would expect, so you can just track them. All right, got another super chat coming in here. Rolton Cheese, NVO. I think, what's NVO? What is NVO? Let's take a look. Oh, Novo. Yeah. Weight loss drug. We called the top, right? On my channel, we called the top. And so if this is the top, this is your target, $76. And Eli top too. We got Eli's top. So guys, we called the wave 5 tops in both these in the grand super cycle on Novo and Eli. I think it's in the grand super cycle correction. It should be targeting this area somewhere around here, but it's going to take time to get there. I mean, short term looks like 5 down. Looks like it's due a bounce. Okay, do some kind of bounce, but that bounce will probably fail and go lower. All right, and it could also be a 1-2, 1-2. It could be a lot of things, so I don't even want to label it. I just think it's, let's see if we got stochastic confirmation on the monthly yet. Not yet, but we're about to. So yeah, I say that, you know, weight loss drug mania may be over for a little bit. This is a pretty big extended 5th wave too. Look at this. So just get ready. All right. Next is STM. STM. Looks like we do have that. Oh, there it is. Oh, it hit our buy area. We had a 3-wave move potential. So it's a buy right now. And it looks like it found bid literally right on the penny. So you'll have to decide if you want to take that trade or not. If you take that trade, put your stop loss at 28.54 and maybe you'll get a wave 3. All right, AML. AML. Oh, Aston Martin. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at that LSE. I think Ferrari's in a bigger correction. Wow, it's pretty bearish. I thought it'd be a little more bullish than that. We really can't analyze this properly. Okay, I think the only way to do this is to kind of do some chart pattern trading. You have a breakout, so I would say it's bullish off of this low. But you only have 3 up. I mean, I only see 3 waves up. So it's a corrective move. So it's just going to continue lower. I don't know why it's so bearish. I thought everyone, you know, liked these guys, like those cars, but it looks like to me you're going to make 5 down. You'll come up. You're just going to keep going down. So it's like some kind of wave 4 that should push down the low wave 5. MC on the Euronet. Euronext. So it's correct in the grand super cycle. Well, no, it's correct in it's not the grand. It's in but it's in a obviously it's in a major correction. You know, it's in a major correction. So we did take this peak out, so I would put a 3 here. So it's correcting wave 3 of the grand super cycle. So let me show you your buy area potentially. It looks like it's close to the buy area. Just not there yet, but somewhere in here we should get wave 4 support for a 5th wave. And then a massive crash. DLAR. DLAR on the LSE. So right away, I think flat correction. And so we need 5 down. Looks like you probably need one more low on the count here. I would be looking for one more low, and then the flat should complete. And then if you're lucky, I get a big move higher. All right, Thomas, GDX, the miners. So the miners, let's take a look at that real quick here. How's the GDX doing? So there's a couple things on this chart that I would look at. We got some more data this week. We broke that stochastic. So this cycle, we're still in this corrective cycle. So I'd be worried about a flat correction, right? But we all know that. We see the sell-off coming. Now, if we get that correction, you may have this full correction. So I think the better way to relabel this is not as aggressive anymore. I think you have to be conservative and maybe make it a 3 and a 4 and a 5 here, or we're still in like a 4 and we'll get 5 later, something like that. But that, I think you have to be conservative. So it's either going to be something like this and then we drop back to 31 and get out of here, or it's still in 4, we get a flat, and then we get 5, and then we pull back. I think you got to be conservative given where the stochastics are. We should have got more follow through the last week. We didn't, so now we need to kind of change our perspective, right? Look, we had a false breakout that got rejected. So I think it's just those are things to think about. If I was trading it, this only looks like 3 up, so it looks like a flat to me. So it looks like we're going to get a flat type possibility. So if we get a flat, that could really drop this thing down to 31, 37. So be careful. Again, we all know there's a big sell-off coming across the market soon. I think that's what this is warning us about. And then this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be 5. This could be so I'll just label it conservative for now, and then you'll have to decide. But it looks like to me we're at risk of a flat correction. The way to avoid that, see, this is too deep for a 4. Like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I think the market rejected the breakout, and we saw it. We saw the breakdown. You know, it had a great setup, but it's gonna. I think the setup will still happen in the future. It will, but I think there's some pain coming for late entrants that came into this trade. So I'm going to go with something like this for now. And I guess again, and I could force it like this even, and then have it come all the way back. So like I would just say just be careful now that you got this breakdown. So it's got a breakdown here. SILJ. All right, let's take a look. Where's the low on this thing? Right here. Okay. Looks like here again. I see 3 up, 5 down. Yeah, I think I would have to label this something like that. So I'd be looking for this area of support. But it can go lower because it's a flat. You really just need that to hold. So yeah, I think it's in a flat pattern. It's going to come down in a flat because we did not get 5 up here. So yeah, we had, like I said, the commodities are starting to show, or you know, these commodity plays are starting to show breakdowns. Okay, deflationary, right? It's deflationary. Maybe we're in a recession. We don't know it yet. The data's lagging, right? So we'll try something like this. Now this has to hold here, or it's you know, then you gotta leave the instrument. But I think this will have a. We should at least get one more swing up. So, all right, Chris, RRL Rolls Royce. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'll assume this is it. Looks like it's doing okay. Had a big 3-swing correction. Looks like you had a big extended 5th and you lost the whole 5 just like you would have expected. And now you're coming up in a new cycle. So it's two things happening here in this chart. It's either a 1, 2, 3, and now we're in 4, and usually I'll trace to 618 because we don't have a lot of data, so maybe it comes back down to 331, but of course it will bounce and fail, so it's going to be choppy. Or worst case, it's a flat, and if it's a flat, you know it's going to be like, you know, oh man, that. So you need this 5th wave, but it looks like you've topped in 3. I mean, look, you've topped in 3, so you're in 4. But 4 can drop, like I was saying, and then you should get a 5th wave to confirm the low. If you don't, it could be a flat. It could just keep coming down. So I would be more defensive here. Rolls Royce. All right, Mike, let's go to the other ones. Lulu. Lulu breaking down like we projected on my channel a long time ago. We've had the flat labeled months and months ago. We labeled the top, warned people about chasing this thing, and we are breaking down. Look, massive double top. The double top target is easily 125, so it's really a stock you want to start to short now. And it looks like to me on the shorter time frame, you're having the wave 3 breakdown happen now. Yeah, so you had this was probably your 1, 2 here and there, and now you're in your wave 3 of 3 breakdown, and it should just continue lower. I'm looking ultimately. It could find support as at 188, but I think ideally I'd like the low 100s better. But you'll have to do what's best for you. But I don't like buying it. We didn't like buying it when we were up. When we got this, just like the same kind of pattern. A lot of commodities are like right around here. We got this. It just, and again, we saw the 3 waves. We're like up, flat, and then sure, and that's what it played out to be. All right, BLK. Let's look at that. BlackRock, okay, that was another one we've looked at before. Looking for this push higher in wave 3. So far we're getting it. Again, we always have to watch the flat correction. So we should get something like this, and then put this 3 in. So when this 3 comes in, that will be the time that it could, if it's a flat, if it's an A, B, and this 3 is in, you can get a flat back down to here. So that's why I leave that box so that it's always possible, and then we're still in 2. Okay, but I'll just leave it like this for now. But you need to keep in the back of your mind when this 5 finishes out, there's a possibility of a flat still. Okay. J and J, that should be near a buy area, I think. I think J and J should be near a buy area. It hit our first target bounce, but then it failed to go higher. So yeah, I have it in here somewhere. There it is. Okay. So my ultimate target's 138. So we did have we did target this. We got this entry, got a bounce, it failed, so it's double correcting. Here's your connector. So you have 1, 2, 3, connector, 1, 2, 3. It's probably truncated here. It probably just truncated. So more than likely this cycle's over here. But let's look at all the yeah, look at that. So it looks like it's ended a major correction in my mind, almost like Pfizer is doing. Now, once the monthly breaks out here, you'll have your confirmation. So it's not 100% certain, but it seems likely that it put in a major low right there, and it's just going to keep grinding higher. Okay. Good luck with that. Eddie O, okay, appreciate that. It's on the foreign market. Okay, some numbers here. Let's take a look at that. 030200 KT. Look at this and all right, so you see all that capitulation, divergence arrays. So that's a pretty good sign. That's the low. So we won't bother labeling that. We'll just label it from that. So it's bullish off that low. Clearly 5 waves up. You have very easy to see, nice, beautiful impulse up. And then this looks like 5 down with 3 up. Looks like another flat correction happening here of some kind. Or wait a minute, let me take that back. I think the flat is here. So actually it's probably like this. Let me look. Okay, so my bad. I was looking at, I thought that low broke it. So we're still good with the 5 there. 3 down. And then this looks like 5 up. 3 down. Yeah, so this looks pretty bullish. Looks like a 1, 2. 1, 2, and you're coming out. What do these guys do? Some kind of communication service. All right, yeah, it looks pretty bullish off the low. It looks like it's going to keep going higher. I would say as long as this low holds at 29,000, it should continue to push higher in a new bull cycle. Thanks for the super chat again. Okay, I've been on for a couple hours here. I'm just going to oh, we got another super chat came in at the last minute. And then I'll scan through comments. Like I said, if I don't get to your comments, super chat, I'll always answer. I'll always stay on and answer your questions. All right, let's take a look here. You got an impulse with a massive extended fifth wave, which you lost the whole thing. Very typical for extended fifths to get annihilated like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you have 5 down and a connector, and you broke the low. In 3, it's probably going to do one of those, you know, destroy the bull, destroy the bear connector waves in B, and then go down. I'm looking for something like this. Okay, something like that. So I think it's going to do a flat like connector, and then fail. Okay. Next is Wiz Wizz WIZZ. that looks like just 3 up to me. You know, something, and then this looks like 5 down to me. And again, a connector wave. So, you're in some connector. This could be a triangle connector for B. Something like that, and then fail. Yeah, I think it's going to fail, but it's probably in some kind of triangle connector. And then down. I don't know how low it will go, and then I'll find support. Okay. And EZG. Wait, did I get that right? EZJ. EasyJet. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three, 1, 2, 1. It looks like just a massive 3-wave move up. And so this one's probably a little different. Yeah, this one's a little different. Something like a W. It's got to be something like this. So it's hard to say if X is set yet. If it is, yeah, it's going to have a nice little pump here, but it's got to. Let's see if we could confirm the breakout on a higher time frame. We kind of have. So yeah, so I think you know, I'll just get rid of these so you can kind of see it a little bit better. But I think it's something like this, and it should just continue up. I have no idea. EasyJet. I guess people are gonna be flying around Great Britain or something. I don't know, but that's what this looks like to me. Now, the only other chart that makes any sense to me is if we're still in X, and then this is a shallow connector, and that'll essentially mean it's going bankrupt. Okay, so this low has to hold here. It has to hold. It's a do or die moment for this stock chart at 250. So it's basically you're backing into the low here. Okay, good luck on that, EasyJet. So here we go, guys. Yeah, it did. All those metals did, but the recent price action has changed things. So you have to understand every day you get new price action, and you have to change. You have to change your perspective. I don't make the market. I know it's sad, but look, silver didn't break out, right? It's not. So you have to think of the bearish case. Now the bearish case was a low probability event, and it's playing out. It's a low probability event, but it's playing out. Now it hasn't confirmed it. I'm just showing you a possibility, right? I still think it could be 5, but really 4 should have been here, and it wasn't. Look, I didn't cause the sell. I can't sell. I can't go buy silver and then make the market go higher. I'm just reading a chart. Long term, I'm still very bullish on silver. I think silver will be way above these levels, but in the short term, there may be pain that you have to endure. So if you're chasing the price action, you're trading wrong. If you're just like buying it here, you got to understand people bought here, and they may be panicking a little bit, and they may be selling, and they may buy it back lower. So that's why you got to understand, like, being a good forecaster is different than a good trader. A good trader would never buy up here in this pattern. They would be watching on the sidelines. You could try to buy it on wave 4 here, but I'm just showing you there is a flat pattern. There is a flat pattern. This pattern is super low probability, but it's a possibility, so I have to show it. I wouldn't be doing a good job giving you my advice if I didn't show you that. I'm not a perma bull, a perma bear. I just trade what the chart's given me. I don't care. I have no deny. I will short silver as soon as I buy. So like I have no emotion. I'm not connected. I do not have hope. I do not hope. My emotion of hope is not in my DNA. I could care less emotionally about what I own and what I short. I just trade the chart. The chart is showing me a breakdown and it's showing me the bearish case maybe starting to come into play, but it hasn't validated it. It hasn't. So I still show the 5, I still show this pullback, and I still show the moon. If we do get the flat, the super, this crash, it's still coming up here in the future. But a lot of people can't take that pain and they'll fold. So I'm just saying that's all. I'm just saying how we get the path we get there. May be volatile, violent, and scary, but I still believe in the long term. I just think short term, I wished it kept going, but it didn't. So you have to change. Again, if I was just a perma bull and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just a 1 2 1 2 1 2, then you guys should all unfollow me. I'm giving you bad advice. I'm not a perma bull. I'm not a perma bear, and I change my forecast based on what I see. You know there's services out there that all they say is buy calls, buy the dip, the market always goes up, they're a moon boy, and they're going to lead you to slaughter in the bear market. And then there's perma bears that have made you miss the whole move. They're just like short it, it's going to crash, and it never does. So if you want to follow those guys, follow them. I'm going to always change based on what I see, and you're going to have to accept that. And if it bothers you, then I don't know what to say. It's just, this is the way the chart reads to me. So yeah, the metals look good. At that moment in time, the metals look good. Look, we were about to surge out, but now the market said otherwise. Obviously it did. So now you have to think of something different. And if it keeps pushing down, I hate to break it to you. If we get down to 24, 23, then the bear case is in play, whether I wish it to be or not. And if you guys are holding on hope that, oh, it's going to go up, you're going to lose, or you'll have to ride this down. You have to write it down. And then you'll say, why didn't you tell me to sell it? So I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you what I'm reading. So every day the price data changes, and you have to change. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be a trader. And that's all I got to say. And if you're following people that won't do that, you should unfollow them, because they're going to make you lose a lot of money. All right, guys, I'm just going to scan through a few more comments. I don't have a lot of time anymore to do any charts. DJT's been going down like we expect. He has to hold that low. Shopify, how's Shopify been doing? I am interested in looking at that. We thought that would break down. Yep, breaking down, just like I warned you. Okay, bear flag breakdown, major bear flag breakdown, by the way. GameStop, yeah, because people like GameStop a lot. GameStop and AME real quick. I said to watch, for something like this. So we're coming close to that point where we're either going to get this, destroy the bulls and bears connector, or the connector's in, and it's going to come back to retest this area, 2250. We do have 3 waves here. Let's look at, okay, that's pretty good capitulation and down. So actually, looking at this again, now that we have, see, we have 5 down here, but we only have 3. So yeah, I still think this is a connector wave, for a retest of this low. And again, if this low breaks, this becomes a connector, and it's coming back down to retest these areas. And again, I don't make the market. I wish it would go up, but it just, the price data is changing things, and you have to change. And if you refuse to change and hold in hope, I promise you'll lose all your money, and you won't be trading much longer. All right, so the next is AMC. AMC is it hit the bottom. It looks like it's still trying to push out. I said it looks like we're in this wave 2. So I'm still looking for a wave 2 pullback, but it really has to hold this low at 455. it could be a shallow wave too. If it is, it's going to have a big move. So it's a very interesting chart here. We'll see what happens next week. Visa's the canary stock. It was hammered. Yeah. Hey guys, and Visa, I predicted the flat and we got it. And I know that ruffled some people's feathers when I said it because it was literally at the top. So I am going to spike the football here on Visa, guys, because we did call that. Call Visa here. The short. And look, the canary in the coal mine. Okay, maybe it is. I'm just scanning through the comments. Oh, got a few more last minute super chats. All right, I'll do that and I'm out. All right, Fusel. Fusel finally hit our buy area. Look at that. Damn, it's been a while. But I don't look like when I look at this, it doesn't look like the impulse is complete. So I would still be careful. I wouldn't get too giddy about this. But that's what it looks like to me. Okay. I don't know. I think Bitcoin is uncorrelated with the market. I think some people disagree with that, but so I tried to trade Bitcoin with the dollar index based on the value of the dollar. That's really all I correlate Bitcoin to. But I mean, it happens to coincide a lot with market sell-offs. Maybe people do that on purpose to make you think it correlates with market sell-offs, but I wouldn't. I'm not gonna relate it to any market sell-off because maybe Bitcoin's a safe haven. Maybe people want to go in it. I don't know. I'm just showing, like, the chart's the chart. I think this fifth wave is super important technically to break this high because then I think it negates a double top flash, a flat correction that people are afraid of. That's the ultimate Bitcoin wipeout chart. But we got to break above this 3. So just see what happens. We have to break above the 3 peak. But yeah, I think I think basically Bitcoin will always recover because it has the mathematics behind it. So if Bitcoin crashes, guys, if it does the meltdown, flat crash, double top crash, I think that's a gift. I mean, I just think that's a massive gift. Unless the only thing I think that could kill Bitcoin is if the blockchain gets hacked, like it gets the encryption is broken on it because of quantum computing, AI driven, and some nerd in their basement with quantum computers and AI one day when their mainstream break it and hack into that's when it probably just goes to zero overnight. So that but hey, that's probably like 50 years away to worry about. So I think the only way Bitcoin dies is a hack, like the encryption, like that people say is unhackable is hacked, which I think that's how it finally ends because technology is getting better and better, and yeah, maybe we're all dead when it happens, but at some point someone's gonna hack this shit. It's probably we're looking way down the line, like hundreds of years. I mean, but at some point you gotta think technology will eventually figure out how to hack this shit and decrypt it, and but hopefully they can update the blockchain to keep up with that, and the people that run this shit can update this so that that doesn't happen. But for the most part, the mathematics behind it will always support the prices, and of course, the dollar is always devaluing, right? They're always going to print more dollars and shit like that. So this stuff is in dollars, so that's why it's always you got those tailwinds always behind you. So I do think it's okay long term. I think, yeah, short term there's sell-offs and stuff. Oh, another one, MNDR. All right, MNDR. All right, it did break that low there. That's good. So again, you have 3, a big connector, and then looks like 3 that's about to finish. So you probably want to try to label an impulse from this point on. Actually, it looks like it's moving in 3 swings here. Yeah, this swing is almost over and probably has ended. Looking at that capitulation on the RSI, but any moment, then you should get a pretty good pump. Maybe something like this even, or even bigger because it's a higher degree. Um, I don't want to get your hopes up. You see, the target's 104. So target's like 104. So you're close, but only see 3 swings here in this 5. But, it's a lot of data missing and shit because it's like, it's not that liquid. So I don't know. I mean, and see, that's 104, the confluence. So yeah, somewhere like there. Oh, another last minute one, Hollow. Yeah, Hollow, we've been tracking that as it's been falling. And that sequence should be coming to an end soon too. Let's take a look at. So get rid of all that. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we just need to make sure we see some bullish divergence. We don't. You see how that that took that peak out here and there. My guess is it's going to extend. It's extending in this wave. So I would be careful. So it's going to be like some kind of 1, 2, and it's going to keep going down. But two, this seems like too shallow. So I bet you get a little bit bigger move in 2, but something like that. But because divergence was erased within this wave, it's going to have to go lower because then you don't have 5 anymore. Yeah, actually, let's relabel that a little bit differently here. Something like this. Yeah, we'll do it like that. This would be better. Sorry, my bad. There. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, something like that is what I would be looking at. Yeah, I know that it is funny. Yeah, the death to hell. It is funny that people love to trade these. But I don't judge. I do all charts. I do all charts. I don't know. I do all charts. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway. So again, I leave you guys, just kind of with, you have to keep an open mind about the stock market. You can't fall in love with a position. You have to understand the bigger picture and, trade what the market gives you, not what it wishes. And the data changes every day. So you have to like look at your positions every day and decide, what you want to do. But I still not forecasting like a crash like any moment. I still see like we're in a top in process. So that's good. Now, some people don't see that. I'm telling you, the perma bears are like, this is a flat and we're going to crash right here, right now. Can I rule it out? No, it can happen. But the first sign of that happening is we need a huge down day, probably back like where the Q's just boom, we're down here. We need the SPY like down here in like one day, one trading day. When we do that, then we got to start talking about the unthinkable bearish scenario that has like less than a 5% chance of happening. Okay, but if you don't and you're like, oh, it's just gonna keep going up, dude, that's how you lose all your money. So I'll never do that. So I always look at the data, and that's how I trade. Like the triple Qs, just so you know, we bought the dip here, right? On the three-wave move, I got stopped out. I have to change, okay? I have to change. So what did I do? We got a pop. I shorted that pop. I came down. I took profit this week. I made thousands and thousands of dollars this week on the short. I changed. Oh, I wasn't a perma bear. Bull. I didn't buy call. No, because I changed my perspective. Quit. And I guess what? I came away from the casino with money, and someone didn't because I did that. And guess what? I'll probably go buy the. If we come back down, I'll probably buy this A wave and play this B wave next week, and then I'll probably reshort it again. And I'm not going to be like just blindly holding out hope for a pump or just. So like you got to know what you're doing. You got to not care. I don't care if it's short. I don't care if it's long. You have to just like be able to dump what you own at any moment because the market is we're at the mercy of whoever is driving this market. We don't control the market. So we have to just play along with what they want to have happen.